It's not a constitutional law. It's not an acceptable law. It's not a people's law. It's not.
How does it exist?
That's the whole point. By legislation, they simply, in this case, it exists by regulations of the parks. Okay, the parks make their own regulations, and then the general law says that you must follow the regulations of the park. But the law did not write the regulations. The law only said that you must follow the regulations. So they just made their own regulations. Fas means law. That's all fascist means is law. See, we are a country of laws, but we are a country of laws supposedly with principles, with people behind the laws. But if you have a country just with laws, where you want to get something done, you make a law. No principle, no people, no question, no nothing. That's law. That's what fascism is. It's just law. Law by itself. We're law with principles, with people, with a constitution, with courts. But if you just have law, that's what fascism is. So if you want to change the law, say, nobody in the park, nobody on the grass, you make a law. That's what they do. That's called fascism.
Christian? Are you Buddhist?
I'm really a product of many religions or any religions.
Right.
But the point is that, our own language has to stretch enough to use the terms that we find people using. Language, in other words, is a public service environment. It's not our own. We don't make our own language. So if I say nature gives us food or gives us life from other life, I can also say God gives us life from other life. It doesn't matter which one I say, I really have to say both. I have to say God or nature provides us life from other life.
Because they're one and the same, right? No?
Yeah, in all theology they are one and the same, because if we go back from science, what we call science today, 100 years ago we called it natural science, okay? Before it was called natural science, it was called natural philosophy. Before it was called natural philosophy, it was called natural theology. They're all the same thing. In theology, contrary to what people are generally led to believe, theologians argue for the possibility of the existence of God. They don't claim that God exists, or even that we know God. All theology says we don't know God. The only gift we have from nature is life. So theology, contrary to what the right wing of the Republican Party says, always uses the terms of biology. There is no conflict between theology and biology. In fact, theology and biology use the exact same terms, the terms of life, because there's no other way for them to talk about God except by talking about the primary gift of God, which is life itself. We get life from other life, so we study the other life and we say God created the other life in order to make it a gift of life to us. But it's the same exact terms of biology, that other life gives us life, and other life was necessary to exist before we could have life. Every day we receive life, we get life from other life. If I said all life comes from other life, most people would think, oh yeah, that's the birds and the bees. You're talking about your mother and your father. All life comes from other life. But all life... You guys look beautiful together. all life comes from other life. That's what the two major industries of the American economy are trying to deny. Both of them, the processed food industry, which is the largest sector of the American economy, and the pharmaceutical industry, which is the second largest sector of the American economy. Both of those industries, the two largest sectors of the largest economy in the history of the world, both of those industries masquerade as biological. But both of them are anti-biological. Both of them destroy life. But the one that hides it better is the pharmaceutical industry. We're actually taught in our 7th grade science books that the processed food industry discovered the vitamins. That it was through the activity of the processed food industry that every one of the vitamins was discovered. That's sitting in your 7th grade science book.
Wow.
They use slightly different words, but they say it straight out. They say it straight out. They explain to you how each one of the vitamins was discovered by taking a processed food to a country that didn't used to eat that processed food. And all of a sudden there would be epidemics of a disease in the tens of thousands, in the hundreds of thousands, and people would die. And then they would find that the nutrient had been taken away from the processed food. That's how vitamins were discovered. Basically, what did I learn on the Lower East Side? Why did I stay here? Because I thought that there were people that I could deal with, and I slowly realized that all the people here have been subsumed by the pharmaceutical industry. I've been arrested illegally. I've been arrested for exercising on the grass in the park.
Wait, exercising?
Yeah, you're standing on the grass. It's illegal to stand on the grass.
Why?
Because this is all fascist law.